Hey there. Today we're going to talk about cutting back a crepe myrtle, and I'm going to show you how you can do it the right way rather than just lopping it off at the top like you see when you're driving around this time of the year. It's tragic. It's tragic. It shouldn't happen, and you shouldn't do it either. So we're going to be talking about how to do it the right way, because when you lop them off at the top, those mature crepe myrtles, what they're going to do is they're going to be knobby and really stumpy right there because it'll end up looking really knuckly over time. Remember, these are trees, so they're going to try to grow up, especially those mature ones. But what we want to do is to thin out each portion of the crepe myrtle. So instead of just lopping it off at the top, like I said, you're going to try to thin it out. You want to remove any dead limbs. That's an obvious takeaway. You want to get rid of the seed heads that come off at the top. If there are any bunches, if it's getting crowded in an area, we want to try to clear that out too. You can actually take some places out of the base of the tree, which I'm probably going to do one today. I'm just going to take one limb that's kind of a nuisance around there. What I like to do is put Christmas lights on this tree around Christmas time, and so that's going to make it a lot easier for me to do that. So without further ado, let's get after it. All right, so the tools for the job. If you've got a good handsaw, this is great, especially if you're trying to get the base of the crepe myrtle. Some loppers. You're going to need those, especially for these inch-thick branches right here. And then you need a ladder. You're going to have this to reach up high. Actually, I don't even know if that's high enough, but I'll give it a try. Even though I'm not using these today, pruning shears would work great for smaller limbs. And if you have a pole saw, you could bypass the ladder and use that. One thing to mention about crepe myrtles is they don't like water. But check this out. I've got this downspout that runs right along here, and it empties out right there at the base of that crepe myrtle. I don't know if that's caused a whole lot of significant issues, but if you look at this crepe myrtle, you're going to see how, get some good light on this. You can see how these lichens have started to grow, and they're really prevalent on this tree. So we're going to cut some of that off. We're going to try to scrape some of it away. And I think that's really the problem.
But I really need to move this downspout when I get a chance.
I'm going to try to throw some fertilizer on this too a little later, maybe in a week or two whenever I go buy some. But that'll hopefully get some healthy growth out of this crepe myrtle. All right, so I think the first thing I'm going to do here is this limb right here that's sticking up out of the middle has really been a nuisance. And it's the most unhealthy of all of the limbs here for this tree. So I'm going to get in here and I'm going to try get my saw, little hand saw down here and get that out of the way. It's actually kind of hard to get to. Let's try and get from this angle. That's why this little hand saw is so nice to have, because it's actually pretty small and it fits into these smaller places. Try not to damage the other ones. There we go. Finally got that out of the way. Okay, so now let's climb the ladder. I think actually, first of all, if there's any lichens, there's some dead limbs. I'm just going to break them off, honestly. Probably should use this to make it a little more clean. They're just falling off in some of these parts. This is dead. Probably should get the loppers. We'll take this one that's low right out here out. Take all these little ones, all these little branches you want to take off. Okay, so basically, I think where I'm going to cut it off is right around here. A lot of times you see people, they'll come in and they'll start cutting here where it first starts to fork out. And that's what makes them really knuckly and all gnarly right here. But they'll still, next year, they'll still grow up very quickly. They'll want to push back up to almost where they were before the previous year. I've even seen people try to cut them off down here and almost make them a bush. They're not a bush, they're a tree. And so it just makes them look very ugly. I hate to put it that bluntly, but it's crepe murder whenever you do that. So yeah, just continue on, get all these little small sticks, get them out of the way. It's going to actually make it a lot easier once we get up there closer to the top. Ow, that hurt. Yeah, because I think I want to cut about right. That's probably too. Yeah, I want to cut about right here and about right here where it's kind of starting to get thin. Oh, look, there's a big old lichen up there. I have to show you real close. Look at that lichen. You know how big and puffy that is. Wow, I'm going to take that out. Okay, so this one looks almost dead. Let's take that out. Yeah, see, that's dead right there. That's dead wood. Definitely want to take out any dead wood, get it gone. And I need to get up this ladder, start hacking away up there higher. My goal is not really to bore you to death with all the details, but I do actually want to just show you the first step, because once you get the first step right, then you can get the rest of it right. So I'm actually going to get, trying not to let it fall on the camera down there. I think I'm just going to take this one off right here. So all these little dead sticks, all these little ones, you definitely want to get that off. I know that's probably a little more than I wanted to take off, but be fine. Take it off right there. And see all this stuff on the bark, try to get all that off. That's why it's good to have gloves. So again, just cutting off any unhealthy growth here. All right. Okay, so now we've got that shaped up a lot better. Just do the rest here. It's probably better to have some good solid leather gloves so that you can actually, my rubber gloves are kind of sticking there on these little knobs that I've cut off. Again, you want to try to get that bark nice and clean. Real tall one right there. See all these lichens here coming off. All that nasty stuff off. Some of these limbs are just falling right off. They're dead. Yeah. Sometimes you got to just stand back and take a look at it and see where you are. Get some perspective. Can't quite reach everything I need to. Actually, let me get this one more. I'll get it right there. It's kind of tall. That's the tallest one. But I want to try to shape it to be a little more uniform with the rest of the tree. I'll be honest, I'm probably cutting this a little too far back, but this thing has gotten mature enough and tall enough where I kind of can't reach it. So I'm trying to keep it a little lower. That way I can keep it manageable. That way I can maintain it. Somebody's going to be telling me, you shouldn't do it that way, damaging the tree. Well, you know what? People damage the trees every year, lopping them off 6 feet high. Shouldn't do that either. Whoops, that was a little too much. Wasn't paying attention to that. Whoops. All right, now I'm starting to commit murder. Shoot. That's going to be growing up towards the house, so I don't want it really growing that way. All right, down the home stretch. Almost there. This little pop top. Off of there. Ah, shoot, can't get it. Don't want to fall. All right, so there you go. There you have it. That's how you should shape up your crepe myrtle. Put that out there because I've seen so many crepe myrtles just hacked off and it doesn't look great. This will be a lot better. It'll keep the shape of the tree instead of making it a bush.